like I'm looking at it, everything around me in my peripheral, it felt like it went to putty and everything froze.
That's called making a psychic connection.
I was stuck.
The thing about when you make a psychic connection with a star, you get the energy pulse immediately because you're trying to establish quantum entanglement.
What did it do to me?
I'm about to tell you. Whatever it was you was trying to discover from it, you weren't gonna get it that day. Calculate one day to the number of years, light years it take for that light to get here. And you will know how long it's going to take for it to sink into for their communication to your subconscious, because you haven't established the quantum link yet. It's not instantaneous yet because you're developing the faculty. It's like you teaching yourself how to hear.
Yes.
But you don't got no frame of reference of what it's supposed to sound like if you're hearing correct. So it takes your subconscious mind a certain amount of time to assimilate the information, and it has to discuss it with the higher self so it can tell you how to use it.
Makes sense. Okay. Next question. Why is my giabella magnetic right now? Like off the chain. I can like walk around with a cord stuck in my head all day. They've been doing it on Instagram, everything. I can walk around. It's magnetic.
Yeah, that's active third eye energy because the pineal gland makes a connection with the black dot it's called the reticular formation, and it's at the base of the spine in what's called the pons region. And then it comes to be another visual cortex here. This visual cortex then is working on a different frequency than the visual cortex here. It's reading the sight through the energy field, like sonar.
Okay.
Right? But it's using electromagnetism.
Okay.
So when you put the coin up there, whatever, it holds on to it because it's trapped in the field. It's not because it's stuck to your head.
No, it's just there. I can move it. It's just there. It's like,
yeah, it's trapped in the field. So imagine here's an exaggeration. A ray gun in a cartoon that delivers a pulse, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the exaggeration of the field that is caught in right here.
How do we use that, and what do we use that for?
That's just the test to see how active the system is. It's the Lucifer lens, the lens that allows you to see everything for exactly what it is. Because the regular lens is upside down and backwards. If you study optics, you will know that it looks like that we walking upside down, but the nerves in our eye flip it. What a Lucifer lens see through all of the flips in order to see what's really going on in the world around us.
Okay.
Right? So they tell us to fear it. Fear that Lucifer shit, that motherfucker Lucifer gonna take your ass to the pits of hell. Right? Lucifer gonna help you see your way out of hell and straight into the motherfucking gates of heaven. Because Lucifer is the illumination of the pineal gland striking the pons region, and the brain being filled with the sacred secretion gives you what's called anointed sight.
I felt that in my soul. Yes. Yes.
Right. Because the liquid serves as an amplifier and a focusing, like a magnifying glass, a focal energy. So it's an amplifier and a focus. So it's driving it into its singularity of view. It's what it's called. And that's what you call third eye vision. That's why I tell you in the Bible, when your two eyes become one, your whole body is filled with light, because it begins to act on the DNA crystals based on the amount of output of your mitochondria. That's why I told these 9-volt niggas they better boss their game up, because when the women start turning up the frequency in they self, it's gonna affect the males around them. And if he on some fuckboy shit, it's gonna fuck him up bad.
Okay. Now, from my tribe, can they strengthen that by, like, if we do blindfold exercise, will that strengthen it?
So there's a lady that teach how to read blindfolded.
Okay.
And when I open the training center, we're gonna be sending some of the students over there to learn the techniques from the doula center to come back and teach to the children over here.
Okay.
Right. So we'll be using those techniques to teach the children how to read or see blindfolded.
Okay.
Right. So imagine a child that was kidnapped blindfolded, but they can see exactly where they're going. And they know exactly who kidnapped them.
It's a wrap for that, honey. Yes.
Right. And then they can see when to escape.
That's almost like remote viewing, right? Because it is possible.
It's a little bit different than remote viewing. So remote viewing is like
I can see it.
It's like watching TV, right?
Mm-hmm.
But reading blindfolded is like taking the images from a radio story and creating them in your own mind. So you sending out a pulse from your aura, your auric field. And when the pulse hit the walls, it's going to come back like a sonar.
Nice.
But you got the control technique of the auric field is developed through Tai Chi.
There we go. Tai Chi.
Tai Chi is what you call kinetic meditation, meditation in motion. Okay. Instead of sitting down like the monks do with our legs crossed, because we used to do that shit too. But 3D shit got to be done both jobs at the same time.
Okay. So, Tai Chi, tribal structure, Skywalker, Zulus, destroying the trees, Book of Enoch, Breathe of Genesis, How to Read Blindfolded, Magic Circle by Josh Almost, which is like
it's Yaj, Y-A-J, Yaj Nomalos.
Why?
Y-A-J.
Y-A-J. Okay, now with that, the eyes don't really see, do they? The eyes interpret.
No. So, right. They translate light. They translate light waves into information in the brain.
So they
by binary code. The same way that they created a training room in the Matrix.
So Disney, everybody, like, yo, it's a program. So you really don't need to see, because you don't really see.
Listen, Stevie Wonder eyes may be ruined, but he can see your ass.
Basically, and create it. That's another thing I wanted to ask about sound waves. You were saying that there are messages in certain songs. Like, was Din Dada one of them, or did he steal that song?
Then Dada is the patriarchy. Din is the home of.
Okay.
So he's saying that it's the home of the patriarchy in the code, but he might not even know what he's saying, and it might not mean that in the language he's talking.
Okay. What are strong matriarchal songs have the vibration that are good to just play throughout, like, your home?
You got to feel the music, sweetie. So when women get into their zone, they vibe, right? Some of them want incense, but other ones want scented candles.
Me, it's music.
One want jazz, another one want motherfucking club music, right? The energy cultivation is to know what gets you in the state that you need to be in to produce the energy effect you want. So you choose I listen to damn near every kind of music you could think of.
So we need energy cultivation according to person, and like probably once a week or whenever we meet up, like take turns on like, yo, what you hear, and like everybody switch into that. Like if they're saying, oh, I'd use candle, we live in your vibe. So that way, when you can walk in somebody's position, you can kind of understand or understand them better. So practicing cultivation.
Yeah. So when we have family functions, we encourage the arts, poetry, song, dance, right? But we also encourage academic challenges like math contests, right? Instead of going from school, my school versus your school, it's going to be my cousin on this side of the family versus my cousin on that side of the family. And we going to come together and make sure we all got our motherfucking spelling bee shit so we can go on the national tour with this shit.
Okay.
Right? So we take the centralization of the wealth away from the 1% and redistributing it through the community. So let's say in the future, your nephew becomes a recording artist. The family bank's responsibility is going to be to give him the recording contract under the family's record label.
Facts.
Right? And then he get access to all his money, and you get to keep rogue elements from stealing from him. That's why all of the artists went broke.
Yes, they didn't. They went through the labels instead of us having like we don't structure our families. Like we don't look at when we get Coca-Cola, we think of like, oh, they sell so like no, that's a family. That's a family. That each one of these names, that's a family.
Yeah, the Hershey's, the DuPonts, the Fords,
that's
Chryslers.
So we have to establish our families. Next question is, you mentioned that the Zulu and the Crips are the Skywalkers. What are the other tribes? Is it almost like how they showed us the other Avatar, like you have tribes? So is there something where we can reference us as people can look and say, you know what, that's the tribe, like an identification point for us to be like, okay, you know what, those are the Skywalkers, those are the fire people, like these are the, like. Yeah,
look, I'm going to show you where to see Skywalkers in action. If you watch the movie The Great Wall with Matt Damon, the girls in the blue is Skywalkers, right? Look at the colors and then look at the job they performing. And you can match it across colors, across cultures, because the colors are still representative of that clan.
They got to show you the truth, even if it's in fiction.
Right.
So, another question. I know I'm all over the place. Bigfoot, like the forest person, like is that an entity that I don't feel like it's an entity that's from here? I think it goes in between. Does that thing live here?
Listen, the Bigfoot in ancient times, they listed him as a species called Gigantolopithecus. And they said that he was gone and he was extinct. But what it is they have caves that go deep in the earth, and they spend most of their time down there, and they start burying their dead in the caves. When they go in the woods, the reason they can't find them is because they telepathic. They know they coming before they get there most of the time, right? And if a person is in a passive state of mind, and that's the same as like a deer. Like if he's doing something, and then whatever he's doing, put him in one with nature, Bigfoot can walk right past him. But if he haven't tuned in to the frequency that nature tuning him into, Bigfoot know he there. He ain't gonna never see that motherfucker. Because he could feel the ripple in nature. He know you there, and he know you on some bullshit. And he not gonna let himself be seen.
That's amazing.
And it's so rare for us in these modern times to be one with nature. That's why it's so rare to see them.
Are they causing the trees to start walking?
That's a whole nother phenomenon. That's psychic energy emanating from the earth.
There's too much. I can ask you questions all night, Rod. Let me know when you want me to stop, because I'm like, yo, I got a million questions.
Yeah.
I was.
Well, I am gonna take another caller because I wanted to talk to my boy Chief. Why not over there?
Thank you.
But it was good chatting with you.
Absolutely.
You asked a lot of good questions.
When
you brought up the sister over there, and I was going off the other line, when I came on, I mentioned I was going to say something about that lady from the car crash.
Yes.
Do you know what the project she was working on?
Mm-mm.
She was doing a documentary on human and child trafficking in Hollywood.
For the adrenochrome, the white rabbit.
Yeah, but she was talking about the sex trafficking industry part. She wasn't talking about the adrenochrome part. And she wasn't dead at that car crash. So if she did, they either killed her in the ambulance or killed her in the hospital.
What's her name?
I think it's Hess. Look at what she was working on. See, we don't look at that kind of stuff because then we tend to just as, oh, another motherfucker died. No, they be trying to murder a motherfucker for trying to tell us about the dirty players in the game.
But yet we'll
say,
oh yeah, they don't tell us nothing. No, they sold out. Like, yo, so much that like a Beyond, only so much they get. If you're in tune, you'll see.
Hey, you know what's funny? Let me tell you something that's funny to me. I always talk about the motherfucker sold out. Oh, that motherfucker sold out. And the motherfucking sellout doing more than your ass doing. What the fuck that make you?
Absolutely. Like,
the sellout is doing more, making more progress than your ass doing, and you over here judging and being critical and ain't doing shit to benefit the community.
Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%.
That's why don't nobody want to be our leaders.
Exactly.
Why would you want to lead a motherfucker that all they want to do is find some motherfucking dirt on you? That's their whole mission in life.
They tried to get you. I'm like, yeah, that's not.
Yeah, but I'd be like, that shit. Y'all got to do better than that. Y'all got to find some kind of skeleton somewhere, guy. I can't find them, so I know you ain't gonna find the motherfucker. So say what the fuck you gonna say.
The moment you came to the scene, I talked to Mother about you. They ain't gonna find nothing, boo, at all. People and everybody that's in this room, they know it because when you speak, it resonates right here. You feel it. It's like, yo, that's what it is. Period. You might not like it, but that's what it is.
Yeah, a lot of people don't be liking the shit I be saying. They get their feelings hurt. But I'm always gonna give a motherfucker they just fucking do. Good, bad, and indifferent. If he was a good motherfucker, he's a good motherfucker. Right? If he's a piece of shit, he's a piece of shit. That's not my fault. Neither one of them is my fault. Whether he's a good motherfucker, he a good motherfucker on his own. And if he a piece of shit, he a piece of shit on his own. None of that shit got nothing to do with me. But when I see a motherfucker knowing the difficulty it is and trying to do the right thing all the goddamn time, and he making it through the struggle or he fall in the struggle, I'm not going to try to tear that motherfucker down. Why would I do that? It's hard enough for a motherfucker to try to help us. And now we don't, when the motherfucker comes to really coming to do some real motherfucking good, we got a habit from Whitey, a motherfucking tearing each other down. So now we can't even have no motherfucking organization. I don't get along with my family. Well, you ain't gonna get your inheritance because y'all got to figure out how to get along. That's part of your motherfucking prerequisite to getting your motherfucking generational wealth unleashed to your family. Y'all got to figure out how to put the bullshit to the side and motherfucking work together, or y'all gonna just not access y'all shit and be on your motherfucking own. Because it ain't gonna be giving out no motherfucking loans to a motherfucker that won't get their shit.
Exactly. What nation's flag do you come with?
We done with that credit shit. Everybody gonna have enough money to buy their own shit through their own family fortune.
Exactly.
So we don't do that credit shit. That is slavery. We done with the slave system. Them motherfuckers can go.
They've been real quiet.
But we don't need them here. We was doing good before they came, and we're going to be doing great when they fucking leave.
What's going to happen with the IRS? What is happening with the Internal Revenue? What is happening with that?
The Internal Revenue Agency, Internal Revenue Services was a privately owned tax collecting agency.
Mm-hmm.
And they got different names around the world, but it's all franchised off of a Swiss banking corporation. And when the bankruptcy was executed, they are not jurisdictionally authorized to collect taxes right now. They only authorized to give returns on existing claims. But they ain't telling the people because they allowing people to recontract with them per deal.
And how do you do
right?
So people don't recontract? Don't
Stop
work.
anything that causes you to have to communicate with them. Don't do that. Abandon the contract because they defaulted on the contracts. You have to leave the contract. Disassociate from the contract. Anything that requires you to sustain the contract, avoid it. Don't allow your children to participate in the educational system. Put together some kind of working program with the non-working mothers to educate the children while the working mothers help them out, and the fathers. Right? So you got all of the children coming over to a family member house instead of going to the elementary school where they was being auctioned off on the street and we didn't even know it.
Wow.
Be watching our kids go to school.
Yeah. They make them say
picking the ones they want.
Every day it's a sale. My son goes to school on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday only because he wanted to play sport.
Mm-hmm.
Monday, Tuesday, and half of Wednesday he's with.
Listen,
at 1 o'clock.
The community can take charge of the sports for the children that's homeschooled.
Okay.
You can still enroll them in sports.